What is up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. Just want to do a quick video on why I chose to go lease with Prime as opposed to going company. Now, I did a video about this a while back, so if you've been watching my channel, you know, we're going to be talking about the same stuff we were talking about back then. But I'm not arrogant enough to think that everybody that watches my channel or even subscribes to my channel has gone back and watched all those older videos. So I'm going to get back into it again. Now, for you guys that just happen to be watching this video that haven't been by my channel, I started my journey in trucking long before I even chose Prime. So if you want to see what it's like from the very beginning, you can go back and take a look at some of those older videos. Now, when I first came to Prime, my initial thoughts were to go as a company driver. There was one thing that took that off the table, and that was 4 days off for being out 30 days. Or some, 4 days off for 30 days. That just wasn't going to work. So right then, boom, that just flipped me over the lease right off the bat. Couldn't even, there is no way I would even contemplate being out that long. Now, have talked to some people, and some people have said, you know, you can kind of work around that if you know your fleet manager well, or, you know, whatever it is. And you know what? That might be the case. I just don't play the margins like that. You know what? If it's a policy and that's the way it's supposed to be, then that's what I assume it's going to be. So I'm not taking any of that for granted. So boom, went ahead and went lease. Now, as I started looking into that lease side a little bit more, there are certain things that I definitely like about being a lease driver. The first thing outside of just being able to take off time whenever I would want it would be the ability to turn down loads. Now, I don't make it a practice to turn down loads or anything like that, and you know, money is not a reason why I will turn down a load. There are certain other factors that could come into my reasoning about turning down a load. So far, I've only turned down 2 loads. And, you know, the 2 loads, one was, I'm like a crawl before you walk kind of a person. So I got a load that was like I think it was a 4-stop. It was 1 pickup and 4 stops on a load when I kind of first got out here. And I really wanted to kind of understand I wanted to perfect just being able to do one thing before I went off and got all creative on some other stuff. So that was a load that I turned down. It wasn't because of money or anything like that. The other load I turned down was, if you guys remember, when I was in Florida, they had sent me a 1-stop 10-drop load coming out of Florida going into Georgia. Now, the load was paying well, especially coming out of Florida. It was paying $2,500. 10 stops over 3 days. Flour load. They assured me it would be a no-touch load. Okay, now, I mildly believe that, but let's even assume it wasn't going to be a load that I had to touch. We're talking about 10 stops. I really wasn't interested in that, so I turned that load down. I did accept the load. Now, keep in mind, $2,500 over the course of, let's say, 2.5 days. And it may have been about 500 miles in total of driving. So really good it would have been a great, what would be considered a great load. The load I ended up taking really wasn't a great load. It was a load going out of Florida, going up to Indiana, more miles, less pay. I think the pay on that one might have been $1,300 if I remember correctly. So it really wasn't a great load, but it accomplished what I wanted, just getting out of Florida. So just the ability to do that. Now, reasons why I would turn down a load might be more stops than I'm really wanting to do. Going into certain areas, I may not definitely turn it down, but I'm hearing it's like minus 30 degrees in Iowa right now. I may not, accept a low-paying load going into Iowa right now. If you're going to send me into Iowa, I might decline that load and take my chances on another one, or sit a day, or sit 2 days, or whatever it takes. But just the ability to at least have some control over what I'm doing. That's, my wife will call me a control freak. I don't think I'm a control freak, but I at least have to have some amount of control, or at least ability to feel like I have some control. And that's something that I get leasing. Like I said, heard company drivers say that they turn down loads. They do that. They've done it, for the same reasons. Like I said, I don't play those margins. That's not one of the things that would be in the company handbook, should I say. So I'm going to strictly stay on that. Those are really the main reasons. Now, as far as the money goes, money was never an issue or never a concern with my reasoning to be a lease driver. I didn't go into leasing saying, oh, I'm going to make so much more than, company drivers, and, I'm not going into any of that. That was never a reason why. As a matter of fact, to me, that control is worth a little bit less money. So even if I made less money than what a company driver would make, then I would be fine just having that control. One thing I have noticed a little bit more is that now I know several company drivers, I know several lease drivers, and it seems like, unless you have how can I put it? I know that Trucking Along with Kiersey, if you've watched her channel, she has a good relationship with her fleet manager. So I know that she's going to jump in here and, say it's not the case. But I know plenty of company drivers, and I've heard some of them, it just seems like some of them dispatchers might talk a little bit more recklessly, or kind of even just, not that they're asking for more, but they may phrase things in a way that, if you talk to my old trainer, sometimes it's not, or my wife will always get on me for this. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And it seems like things are said in a different way from some of those dispatchers than the lease dispatchers. Now, that could be totally, I could be totally wrong about that, but that's just the impression that I get. And so, like I said, if you're watching this channel and you're wondering, okay, well, my main goal for going lease was for money, that is certainly not the case. If the goal was money, let's just put it this way. I know everybody talks about how much truck drivers make and all this kind of, listen, if it was about the money, solely about the money, truck driving would not be the play. I'm just saying. So there would have been another move I would have made if the whole goal was just to make a bunch of money. So on another topic that really has nothing to do with what the point of this video is, one thing I do like about trucking, and this could be whether you're company or lease, is the stress level in this job, while it's a lot of work, is just not a lot of stress. I leave or shut the curtains back here and go to sleep or something, and I'm not sitting here thinking about, that last Walmart load and, how stressful that was. So it's a very stress-free job, while it is a lot of work. So anyway, those are the reasons that I chose to go chose to go lease over company. There are several reasons why I think that there are benefits to both of those. I wish there was somebody on here on YouTube that has done both of those. Maybe there is. I'm not sure if there is. I haven't heard them, but several channels out here that are doing very well in their leases. So I'd like to say a big what's up to Willie, the Million Mile Man over at Prime. Go check him out, the Million Mile Man. As far as the company side, you got Trucking Along with Kiersey. You have Twisted D, his company, doing well. So I mean, you have a lot of people to look at and kind of form your own opinion as to what is best going company or lease. One thing I will not do is try to tell somebody to go or tell somebody that they're wrong for going company and I haven't gone company. I don't care how many settlement statements I've seen from anybody. If I haven't done it, I'm not, that's the only thing I could gauge it on. So, for me, it's working out well being in the lease side. From a dollars, it's hard for me to really calculate what it is in comparison to a company driver, because I'm not paid by the mile. But let's just put it that way. It's really hard to compare them. So really, what my wish is if there's anybody out there with Prime that's watching this video, maybe that has a YouTube channel that I haven't known about, if you've been both company and lease, please either start a YouTube channel or let me know what your YouTube channel is and kind of get that popping, because I think what you have is, this is like the North versus the South. Now, I'm going to pick the North, but let's say this is the North versus the South. You have, the North saying that this is right, and you got the South saying this is right, and then you got, well, I guess I'm kind of in between. You got people saying, you know what, there's pluses and minuses to both of them. So I think, you know what, if there's somebody out there like that, your voice is needed for an unbiased opinion on what worked out for you. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation, letting me run my mouth a little bit. I am sitting out here in Montgomery, Georgia. I got here. This has really been a longer load than it should have been. This was a load that I could have got here in a day. I ended up coming out here in a day and a half. Now I'm sitting a day and a half. And you know what I'm not doing? I'm not complaining about it. I know I'd mentioned to, in another video, I was thinking about maybe calling and seeing if I could get this appointment changed. But I was talking to my man, Willie, the Million Mile Man. Check out his channel. I was talking to him the other day, or yesterday, and I was just like, man, I was thinking about calling and having him reschedule this appointment, but I'm just chilling too hard. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like these runners and gunners out here. I'm not like my last trainer that's just running for the sake of running. If I find a chance to, sit down a little bit, relax, I'm going to take that chance. So that's just me. So anyway, as long as you're making the money, you want to do what you want, right? Anyway, thanks for stopping by No Hippie Trucking Transportation. I appreciate it. Comment, subscribe. I'm out.